think. That's right.
You know, we're not thinking.
That's
and
right.
I sit around there because he had to tell me. He had to say, "You're not thinking. You're not thinking. Don't let them think for you.
That's right.
Open your mind up. Open up to me."
That's right.
That's what a lot of preachers are doing. They thinking for their congregation.
That's right.
You know what I'm
Which
saying?
started from the Roman
You're right,
Catholic
which
Church.
I've already.
Yeah.
I used to talk about that, and I was just growing
Mhm.
my relationship
Yeah.
with Christ with Mr. Mims. Like
Yeah.
I used to ask questions all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
He
no
was just
doubt.
following it.
Yeah.
And I used to read Hebrew and Greek a lot.
Following suit.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah, I used to ask questions like, "Hey, why are we putting our task here, and I got a brother right beside me on the road who need my help?" Like I used to conflict with that.
And they don't want
Internally.
truth in these churches. When you start asking questions, truth, they start
They're gonna run you out.
ostracizing, criticizing you like you're the enemy. You're not the enemy. All you want is answers, and they can't, which they can't give you. They've been sold out for filthy lucre. What it boils down to.
Tell me.
They're up in the pulpit, sold out for filthy lucre. If I start speaking truth, the congregation is going to leave, and I'm going to lose my money. And that building is the Bible says, when you borrow from the bankers, you are a servant. You are a servant to the lender. So therefore, I got to preach and teach what they want me to teach. Most of these churches are under a 501c taxes here. They have to preach on what these people tell them to preach. You preach anything other than that, we're gonna cut you.
Are they under a religious umbrella?
Umbrella, that's right.
Umbrella of false prophets.
That's right.
False prophets.
Yes, sir.
That's why you see church on every corner. You know what I'm saying? To continue to spread that lie. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
That's what I said we're accountable.
That's what I'm saying. At some point, when you're thinking, you start thinking. I used to say to myself, "Why now? This is a little bit off, but just listen to what I'm saying."
Yes.
When I was growing up in New York City, in New Jersey, I'm sorry, I used to say, "Why do they have liquor stores on every corner in our neighborhood?"
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Very good point. Why?
I'm saying
That's what we're
something.
questioning.
Why they got
Why?
liquor store on our
That's right.
And they got all this drugs running around
Going
in
in-
our neighborhood.
Going to prominent neighborhood, they got the
But
whole
you didn't see
food
that
music.
over there. But in our community, that's what you saw. Why? Because they wanted you to be depressed all the time. They wanted you to be drunk up all the time.
Very
and they
good.
wanted you to die.
Die. That's right.
And that's what was going on
Very good.
in my community
Spirit
when I
of
was
death.
growing up in New Jersey. That's all I saw. I was like, what the heck? You in a nice neighborhood, you don't see a liquor store. You got to travel to go get it. In our neighborhood, you can come right out of the apartment complex, walk right down the street, one right there in that direction, turn around, one down. That's the whole point I'm making.
That's right. Spirit of death.
This is what's going on with the ministry.
It's a
Not
fact.
even talk about division between the people in the congregation.
That's
Like
why,
the-
because it's not
those
truth.
absent.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's why there's this vision, because it's not truth.
A house that is divided cannot stand.
Yeah.
The pastor can't even get along with the congregation. Congregation can't even get along with each other. How can I say I'm your brother or I love you if I'm looking down on you? You don't see no love in churches. Most churches I went to, I didn't see no love.
Right.
I don't know whether you did when you was at.
Well, I didn't really. It was more when I was at Red God. It
Status
was more
quo.
of you only.
Uh,
Actually, me and my wife actually talked about this, but when I moved to a different church, I actually saw a whole nother amount of love, like people daily walking with you. But my majority of love came from small community, where
That's
there
good,
was
right
where there's
there.
another brother who tried
Yes.
to minister to black men or different individuals alone, and then they get together in groups. That's where the most love comes from, I would say.
that's right.
The most listening ear for you, and walk you through something step by step
Yes.
daily came from
Now, what you doing, me, Mr. Richmond, at Word of God Fellowship as a leader there, how did you perceive me? Oh, absolutely. Be open-hearted.
More like a father. More like a
What,
father.
how did
in a
you
way.
see me? Did
But-
you see me like the rest of them, or how did you
No, I
see
saw
me?
you very differently. I saw you as a father figure, but it was more of like I saw you dedicated to their vision, and it's like sometimes I had a conflict with the vision.
Yes, sir. Can you
Like,
explain that, expound on it a little bit more when you said have a conflict? We want to learn.
Well, the vision. If I can just think back,
yes.
some of the things that was sometimes taught towards finances, towards even a simple process where I had with the whole
Yes, sir.
hey, I want to give my money to this person right here. I'm very compassionate.
Yes, sir.
And why would I give my extra $100 offering just to the church and not know where it's going?
Come on.
Yeah.
I used to have super conflict. You could call Jill right now. I used to talk about that all the time. Because and so that's when I talk about the vision. It's like some stuff that was preached.
See.
I wasn't happy about it, and I used to go home kind of like feeling incomplete because of it.
Yes, sir.
You know, because I just followed the way, followed the religion.
Oh,
the
yeah.
law.
See.
It's just like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm really not happy. It's like my purpose. And,
Yeah,
and
so-
here's the other thing.
Mhm.
I had another wake up. I remember being there with a guy one time. Was I was sitting in my chair? I remember like it was yesterday. Sitting in my chair, and it's like, if I'm going to church every Sunday, it's like the more I went to church and did, because I was an usher with Mr. Mims. So the more I did evangelism with him too. So the more I did stuff, I'm like, if I'm doing this every Sunday,
Won't get
or
better.
Wednesday, Thursday, what's going on in my life? Where's my purpose at?
Come on.
And I saw myself like literally
Working in a
just
hole.
chilling, being in that seat every Sunday, and gaining a whole lot more weight,
Yeah.
and just listening.
Very good.
And I had perceived everyone what they were doing every Sunday. I'm like, they're just listening, and then just going home.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
it's like I'm over here. When I go home, I focus. I try to grow on self-development and stuff. And it's like I had a tug of war with what was happening in the church in my personal development. Because it's like I
So you're
never
not
understood.
advancing. You're not advancing.
Exactly.
So
You're not
with your
advancing.
experiences with that,
It's crazy.
what would you suggest that we as a people, where do the change need to be? What do we need to make the change at?
This is the steps.
Sure.
Literally, calling a meeting, households, whether the church, households, at the park.
It don't matter, huh?
It doesn't matter.
Assembly, that's right.
Yeah, and then just being willing to share. If the person don't receive it, they just ain't gonna receive it. You still planting the seed.
Yeah, come on.
Very good.
Come on.
Very good.
Come on.
So yeah,
Come on.
just calling a meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody do some
Somebody
work.
gonna
Yeah.
And guess who gonna give you the growth?
That's right.
Hello.
God.
He
Yeah,
That's right.
the one that does.
yeah, God will be the
Yeah,
growth.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. You can't discredit any good that you do. I know that's probably in the Bible too.
Yeah.
You can't discredit, because if you
Yeah.
discredit it, you're gonna look at that person that's never grown and never reach back out to them and continue to plant those seeds.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Amen. That's good word.
That's good
Good
right
word,
there,
man. We
man.
like
That's
that.
very
good.
Thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yep. It's just like makes it we're accountable just for like like I said, the messages we tell one another, the way we act, we affect one another in the smallest ways of how you treat somebody. That's why Yahuwah said, "I am love." You know what I'm saying? So we need to portray love. If someone
Come on.
hurts us, you know what I'm saying? We don't hurt them back. We love them. You know what I'm saying? That right there in itself is an action that plants a seed that grows. You know what I'm saying? That
Yes, sir.
shows the maturity and the you know what I'm saying the status of a person. You know what I'm saying? Like I know y'all always say the Coming to America. Y'all always give that movie as a reference. And when I look at that movie, you know what I'm saying? Akeem, when he did something, you know what I'm saying? He was a king, like you said. He was like my son. And they always saying like my son is what was it? What I always say? Like my son is working or something like you know.
Hey, my son, what?
Yeah, works.
That's
Yeah.
what the daddy
Oh, he saying it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the kid said.
And then what was his friend? It was like, man, let's get out of here, man.
He
You know
was
what I'm
a
saying? A servant.
Yeah, he
Like,
died.
man, let's get out of here. Or let's at least live good. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, you know what I'm saying? But
No,
the king was like, he saw
no.
something, but he knew he had to put himself in this situation. And then when he's still in this situation, he still appreciated it. He still, you know what I'm saying? When he worked with pride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He
People
did
could
that.
see that
He
in
did.
him.
He
You know what I'm
did.
saying? It wasn't where his
Was it
situation was in.
McDowell?
Yeah,
McDowell's, right? He said McDowell's. He didn't just.
Not McDonald's.
They can see the
McDowell's.
regalness, the way he carried himself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's right.
He dressed.
The way he dressed.
The girl said something
Everything was
different about
different.
you.
Different. You carry yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
She
that's.
said that.
I feel like that's what this is. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like
We
that.
carry ourselves. You know what I'm saying? No matter what situation, we're gonna shine through, and we're just accountable to build each other up. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
As a
Yes,
people,
sir.
as a community.
Right.
We're responsible for one another. That's something I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are just self-centered, and like me, I'm trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm giving this message. I'm not really a speaker. I'm not a talker. I'm more of an
That's right.
introvert.
No, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And that's why I'm really
That's
trying
right.
to speak
You
more and
do a
get my
good
heart out because I really do care about people, and I just want
Have
to
a
let
heart
people know
for
what's on my
people. You do.
mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
love
saying?
people.
And I just like what's on my, like I said, it's on my part. I've been accountable for one another. That even the little things we do for one another makes a big difference. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like to give references out of the Sefer itself as well. So that way people don't think I'm just speaking, just you know what I'm saying, off the top of my head. I'm speaking from Ephesians 4, chapter 4, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
4:20, yes, sir.
Give me just a second.
Oh, I got you.
Ephesians
But yeah, the problem is some of the responsibility. Like I said, accountability is another form of responsibility, and responsibility.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people, it can start from a foundation. Even of our children, us being fathers, even the black fathers. You know what I'm saying? We have our children teaching our children lies to where that lie can be compounded to other lies.
Yes, sir.
It's easier to manipulate. You know, so once you plant a seed into a child, it's easy to manipulate them further with the system, the TVs. Now it's more than ever coming at kids. You know what I'm saying? You got YouTube, you got phones, you got TVs, you got radios, you got music. You know what I'm saying? You got, you know, it's a TV. Now all this fear.
Yeah.
And that makes it easier to manipulate even further because people are afraid. People in such a state of fear, it's easy to continue to manipulate even harder, especially the black community. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's easy. So that's why we have to continue to build ourselves up. Continue. And what's my train of thought? Sorry. But I just, but
I want to add something to what
definitely.
you're saying.
Definitely.
I used to think about like, man, because I'm in marketing and I see how the media just push messages and stuff. That's why I'm kind of went to a Christian organization to work for, because it's like you see people pushing all these messages and it's like, oh my God, and you're aware of it. It's like, what's supposed to happen? Because now they even sue businesses for not having two homosexuals or something in their videos.
So,
like
oh
which
wow.
is crazy.
Wow.
So I used to,
What now?
so they literally started suing businesses if their messages didn't consist of a homosexual or someone who, you know, two dads or two moms.
That's why it's so prominent now in commercials
They
and stuff.
started
Like, I
doing
noticed
more.
that. I was like, that's a lot now.
They
It
they
is
kissing
now.
on
Ah.
Ever since Black Lives Matter, it got ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is getting blown up.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
often.
It is.
So I used to think, I was like, so what's the weakness of this? In everything, there's a weakness.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so the weakness of the media is they can't do this. You have all these celebrities pushing all these messages, but they're not going to be there talking to your children. They can talk to them on TV, and that's why I think it's more of you got to add on instead of like taking away. It's more of us. Okay, yeah, your children's going to face. People are going to face the world regardless. But what you can do is add on.
Well, you making
give
them
them something that's going to stick with them forever.
Well, you make them
Not just
understand,
for-
right? You
Yes.
give you giving them the eyes to be
Yeah.
able
See that.
Yeah.
to
See through them lies.
Discern.
see,
Yeah.
discern,
Exactly.
to discern,
Discern.
right?
Exactly.
That's
And so then, what is it like when a person gives you a card personally, or a person reaches out to you personally? You remember that forever.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All that other stuff on TV is gonna be nonsense.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the strength of coming together.
Yeah, that foundation coming together is a foundation. That foundation of coming together is like you come together. Like I said, you gotta be usually people are unified. They use it for a cause. People come together for something, for a purpose. Like I always go back to the Tower of Babel, to where like they were unified. Nimrod unified them in a sense of evil, to where Yah himself had to like come down like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I gotta separate y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how powerful it is. You know what I'm saying? Unification is very powerful. To where Yahushua
Being
came
good or
down.
bad.
Came
Good
down.
or bad.
Yeah.
It works.
Don't need that out.
And definitely to this council that taught me that Yahushua didn't come down to, when he came down, he didn't go to straight to like, you know what I'm saying, to the kings. He didn't sit in the royal palaces.
Come on.
He went to the people.
The common people.
He went to the common people. You know what I'm saying? That's what the people that, you know what I'm saying, he went in truth. He went in love. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what this message is, and that's what will attract. It's the fact that it is come from a place of love and a place of truth, because we've been taught so many lies, even down to like Santa Claus. People think the smallest things, like I said, everything's commercialized. Even our Easter bunnies and everything's commercialized.
Halloween,
It's
you know.
plain thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
System.
It's a system, and they all have meaning. Everything's a derivative
Very
of
good.
something. Even our language itself comes from something.
That's
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the Easter, the bunny, it's a symbol of something. It laying an egg means something. The Christmas tree means something.
That's right.
All of these things mean something. People just look at it and just, oh, it's nice, but subliminally, it's a thought in the back of our mind to continue to be able to have a seed planted.
Control and
That way it can
dominate.
continue, and that's what everything going on is cultivating that seed of
Economy.
fear.
It's money.
Culti-
Very good.
Cultivating that seed of fear, cultivating that seed of deceit, cultivating, especially in the black community, cultivating that seed of inadequacy, that we're not good enough.
Yeah.
That all that we're good for is bouncing the ball or rapping or entertaining.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Very
That us opening the book is not cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Us,
right.
us, you know what I'm saying? Applying ourselves is not a good thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You just sit there and be funny or make me laugh
That's
or
right.
or
Talk
or,
foolish.
or do
Crazy.
something.
Be some fool.
Yeah, with some fool. If not, you not cool.
That's
You
right.
trying to act white.
Yeah.
You know, you see what
yeah.
I'm saying? That's that
Yeah.
seed, that planet. All it-